Hey guys, so today we're going to be talking about the 8 best suburbs to live in surrounding the Nashville area. So stick around. What's up everybody? This is Tiffany Gudger with Tiffany Gudger Real Estate and eXp Realty right here in Nashville, Tennessee. If this is your first time to our channel and you want to know everything there is to know about living in Nashville, make sure you go ahead and hit that subscribe button and click that little bell so you're notified every time we do a new video. Honestly, we get people reaching out to us all the time that are relocating here and we absolutely love it. So give us a call, shoot us a text, send us an email. However you want to get a hold of us would be great. We've got your back when moving to the Nashville and Middle Tennessee areas. Jumping right into it, I'm going to give you in no particular order the top 8 suburbs surrounding Nashville, Tennessee. So without any more delay, let's jump right into it. So we're going to start north of town and work our way around. And the first stop is going to be Hendersonville. It's northeast of Nashville, about 18 miles, and borders the north side of Old Hickory Lake with 26 miles of shoreline. It's also known as City by the Lake. Hendersonville, like most places around Nashville, is growing like crazy. It's known because it borders the lake and has lots of parks, and real estate is doing really well there. That contributes a lot to the growth of the city. It's a mix of new construction, established neighborhoods. It has lots of chain stores and chain restaurants, as well as local small businesses and shops too. So it's a pretty good middle of the road if you're wanting somewhat of a city life, but also want a more suburban feel. It was also home to quite a few country music celebrities over the years, like Johnny Cash and June, and Kelly Clarkson, and even Taylor Swift. So overall, I think Hendersonville is a good place if you still want to be close to Nashville, want to be on or right near the lake, and like the idea of being kind of in your own little area, not having to go anywhere else if you don't want to, but still being close to the big hustle and bustle of Nashville. Moving a little bit further south and east of Nashville, our next stop is in Hermitage. Hermitage is about 10 to 15 miles east of Nashville. It's smack dab in the middle of the 2 lakes that we have in the area, and it's actually named for the 1,100-acre plantation where Andrew Jackson lived. So it has some good history, lots going on as far as, things to learn and explore and experience between the 2 lakes. You can go fishing and boating and all of that kind of stuff. I will say, me, especially because I live in Hermitage, I've noticed that it is a little more diverse, both in ethnicity and race and even stages of life. For example, in my neighborhood and many other neighborhoods in Hermitage, we have people, everything from young professionals to retirees to young families to families that are empty nesters. You'll see a lot of different kinds of people through different ages in Hermitage, and that's kind of why I like it here. Also, it's like Hermitage is just now being heard about and really growing. So it is a really, really good place to invest in real estate. It hasn't quite caught up to some of the other more expensive suburbs of Nashville. And so investing in this area could bring a pretty good return on your investment several years down the road. Hermitage also has lots of restaurant and grocery stores and shops. It's one of those places also where you've got everything pretty local and don't have to go in town if you don't want to. It is home to Long Hunter State Park, which is really known for its trails and going fishing and boating and that kind of stuff, as well as being a good place for everything from a starter home up to executive homes. So it is a really good place for you to find kind of whatever you're looking for, no matter what walk of life you may be going through. So that would be Hermitage, and we will move on to the next one. Stop number 3 is going to be just east of Hermitage in a town called Mount Juliet. Mount Juliet is about 17 miles away from Nashville and is called the City Between the Lakes, which means that there's going to be a lot of outdoor activities. Mount Juliet is actually growing very quickly, like most of the places that we're going to talk about today. Right now, it seems to be that they're selling more new construction homes, and they have new schools that are actually high-rated schools. And they're in Wilson County instead of Davidson County, which is the county that Nashville's in. So Wilson County, them being in there, actually allows them to have some of the lowest tax rates in the whole state. So that's also been very appealing. It seems to be a really good area for young professionals and young families that are looking for new construction homes, and an area where their kids can play with other kids and they can meet other young families. Mount Juliet is also home to the largest shopping complex between Nashville and Knoxville. So it goes without saying that there's a lot of shopping that can be done there. They have your typical standard chain restaurants, but they also have lots of mom and pop restaurants and little boutiques and things like that. So again, Mount Juliet seems to be a pretty good place if you're interested in outdoors, because it is between the two lakes, or if you have young families and want new construction. Our fourth stop is going to be an area called Nolensville, which is going to be south of Mount Juliet, southeast of Nashville, about 20 miles. Nolensville was actually just incorporated as an actual town in 1996, so it is a little newer as far as that goes. However, there's a lot of history there, and it is a little more of a rural feel with a lot of southern charm. It does have quite a few small businesses, and it gives you that small town feel with all the local parades and festivals that it has. There aren't any huge factories or anything like that there for work, so most people that live in Nolensville work somewhere in the city and commute to work, and then commute back home to Nolensville after work. It is an area that provides for really good outdoor activities. It has a lot of parks and trails, and Mill Creek runs right through the middle of it. So there's some fishing and biking and that kind of stuff. Even though there is a lot of historical buildings and things like that in Nolensville, with all the growth that it's seeing, there's a lot of new construction neighborhoods popping up, as well as townhomes and senior communities. So I would say Nolensville would be a good place for seniors, or if you're wanting kind of a starter home, townhome, or something that doesn't take as much maintenance, or new construction with a small town feel and still close to the city. Okay, so stop number 5 is going to be even more southeast, in an area called Murfreesboro, aka the Borough. So Murfreesboro is southeast of Nashville, about 34 miles. Something people don't know is that in the early 1800s, Murfreesboro was actually the state capital for a little while before Nashville took back over. Murfreesboro is the largest suburb of Nashville, and like a lot of these places, is considered one of the fastest growing cities in the country. Again, lots of greenways and trails. You'll see that that's kind of a theme around here in Middle Tennessee, and very popular, and something people really look for here because we have such good moderate weather for the most part. Murfreesboro is also home to Middle Tennessee State University, which is the state's largest bachelor degree school, like 4-year school. Random fact, it is also home to the world's largest cedar bucket. So for what it's worth, you can go check that out. It also has been named one of the most livable cities or towns in the United States. It has a really good feel about it. It's kind of off down there by itself, a little bit further away, maybe 45 minutes from Nashville, and it's kind of like its own little world down there. But again, you can be in Nashville in 45 minutes or so. Overall, Murfreesboro has high-ranked schools, lots of employment opportunities, and affordable living. Our next stop is going to be west of Murfreesboro, just south of Nashville, in an area called Brentwood. It's an easy, short commute to downtown, only being 10 miles away. Brentwood is also in one of the most expensive zip codes in the Nashville area, and is considered to be one of the wealthiest cities in America based on household income. And like most of the other places that we mentioned, they have lots of parks and biking trails. They actually have 14 parks and 75 miles worth of greenway. They have a really good school system. They're in the county south of Nashville, which is Williamson County, and which is known to have top-rated public schools. Along with having some top-rated schools, Brentwood is also home to one of the top-rated libraries for children. It's a pretty popular one, and you can do tons of research on it, and there's just lots that they have to offer for kids. Brentwood is also a good place to live if you like to golf. It is home to 3 of the top golf courses in the state, and are very, very popular Arnold Palmer courses. So if you like to golf, if you have higher income and you want to live in a more affluent area, Brentwood might be the place for you. As we continue on to our 7th destination, we're going to keep moving south of Nashville to an area called Thompson Station. It is south of Nashville, about 25 to 30 miles, and it offers lots of diverse living. There's a lot of rolling hills and farms, as well as with it being up and coming, it is another area that is really, really known to have good new construction neighborhoods. With also having great schools, it seems that this area with new construction homes is becoming a place where more people with school-age children are moving to. It seems pretty far away from the hustle and bustle of the major city life, and it's fairly rural feeling due to the farms and the rolling hills and that kind of stuff. But is a perfect place if you're wanting to get away from the city a little bit and just really enjoy your neighborhood and the local little shops and things that are down there. Just south of Thompson Station is an area that I consider kind of similar and very close. It's adjacent to and borders Thompson Station, and that's called Spring Hill. And it's similar in the fact it's mostly a residential area, again, with lots of new construction and families. Finally, we move on to our 8th and final stop, which is just north of Thompson Station in an area called Franklin. Franklin is 20 miles south of Nashville, also in Williamson County, which is known to have great schools. And something I learned recently is it's actually named for Ben Franklin. So there's a lot of history that comes with living in Franklin, and it has been really popular both with tourists and people moving here as a place to live. Franklin is known for its unique blend of history and progress. Its downtown is known for its historic character with unique shops and restaurants and galleries, and even Franklin Theater, which has become really popular, as well as festivals and parades. They do a lot of activity with the community and celebrate all kinds of holidays. Being next to the Harpeth River, it was also the location of one of the Civil War's bloodiest battles, with over 8,000 deaths. Everything in the town turned into a hospital. Businesses, shops, homes, everything. And it took more than a century, like 120 years, for Franklin to actually catch back up economically. And then ever since then, it's just never stopped. It's continued to grow and is considered, again, one of the best places to live in Tennessee, and is one of the fastest growing cities around. You'll be able to find everything from year-round farmers markets to local theaters that are really popular, the factory at Franklin, which has lots of different restaurants, and again, really good schools. Franklin has been named one of the best places in the United States to start a new business. They really, really take pride in their small businesses and locally owned businesses, which I think is something very, very special. They even have the country's first legal distillery since Prohibition. And again, is just a really good area to raise a family, learn some history. You're close to town. And a lot of this is why Franklin is becoming one of the fastest growing cities in America and around here in Nashville, Tennessee. So we covered a lot of information today. So if you're interested in any of the areas that I went over today, have any more questions, go ahead and reach out. Or if you're thinking of moving here and want to see something or anything like that, I would love to help. But you've got to reach out. So give me a call, shoot me a text, send me an email, however you want to get a hold of us. We've got your back on moving to this area. And until the next video, we'll catch you later.